This is Valley View News.
A big win for Caltech snaps their big losing streak that lasted for 26 years. The battle continues for Wisconsin protesters and the governor at the state capitol.
We don't have a lot of resources, but there are ways.
And during Oscar weekend, the Children's Dream Awards made some kids into big stars.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Cody Colgrove.
And I'm Rosalind San Juan. Wisconsin protesters won a small victory when they were allowed to spend the night in the state's Capitol building. Protesters were initially told to leave the building by Saturday afternoon.
There will be an opportunity for the remaining people to remain in the building tonight. There will be no arrest.
However, Governor Scott Walker is standing by his controversial bill.
We're broke, and it's about time somebody stood up and told the truth in the state and said, here's our problem, here's the solution, and acted on it.
Demonstrators have spent the past 2 weeks in the building angry over a bill in the state assembly. It is now on hold in the Senate.
Leadership of the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Angels has been transferred from Cardinal Roger Mahoney to Archbishop Jose Gomez. The English and Spanish ceremonies fell on Mahoney's 75th birthday. He earned a reputation as a progressive bishop dedicated to immigrant rights, economic justice, and an expanded role for women and the laity. Gomez paid tribute to Mahoney at the ceremony and led the crowd in singing happy birthday to him.
Around this time every year, many people delay doing their taxes until it's too late. However, there is a program that takes the stress out of it for free. Valley View's Nick Copert with the story.
The program satisfies a widespread need for free help in filing out what many folks consider confusing paperwork, and it's attracting people located in CSUN's surrounding community. Twice a week, CSUN students give up their evening to help low-income households file their taxes. The Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, or VITA, is made up of college students and mentors giving back to the community. But VITA spokesperson Andre Sayedzada says the students do not walk away empty-handed.
It's great for the students as an experience that they really get to volunteer. They get to sort of enhance their communication skills, be able to go out into the real world, because most of these people are business majors. That communication that they build with the taxpayer is always important for them in the future in the long run.
Students give up part of their winter break to train prior to tax season. People who took advantage of the program say it comes in handy, especially for students who are on campus anyway.
It's a great service. I mean, it's a free service for people who don't make that much, especially for students who don't make that much. And, you know, you don't want to fork over like $35.
My parents actually go through their account, and they do charge, so I figured I might come here if I'm already on campus.
Bad economy or not, Sayedzada says the program will continue to grow. People will always make use of something for free.
It does increase every year, just like how our volunteers increase every year. It's just when you find something that has such economic benefit for people, it's hard for that not to increase and for people not to becoming more and more.
Last year, the program helped about 2,000 people with about $300,000 in savings, and this year they plan on helping more. VITA Director Kathy Jepson says though clients are getting money through the use of the program, students are walking away with greater knowledge.
I actually think that the students get more out of the program than the people that we're helping.
And student volunteer Kiefer Godinez agrees.
It's the voluntary factor, and I wanted to gain some tax knowledge. Since I'm an accounting major, you definitely need that.
And this room in CSUN's business building is not the only VITA location. Across the country, there are thousands of student filers in schools, churches, and community centers. The process usually takes a little less than an hour, and the paperwork is e-filed, so people can get their return in as little as 8 days. And the tax preparers will meet with anyone who meets the basic requirement. They must earn less than $49,000 a year. The program is open every Monday and Thursday evening. Now back to you in the studio.
Intensified fighting between rebels and government loyalists in Libya is forcing many citizens to flee the country. The UN reported that more than 100,000 refugees had fled into Tunisia and Egypt over the last week. Protesting in the capital of Tripoli rose dramatically as President Muammar Gaddafi continually refused to step down. The leader's son, Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, feels that the family has the right to rule their home country.
We live here, we die here. This is our country. The Libyans are our people.
Inside Tripoli, citizens lined up at banks to collect a $400 government handout from Gaddafi's regime. Foreign government efforts inside Libya are aimed at bringing relief to their own citizens.
Tunisia's interim president has chosen a new prime minister for the embattled nation. The previous prime minister resigned amid protests. A statement from the Interior Ministry says the protests killed 3 people and injured 9. Demonstrators were demanding the current parliament be disbanded. They were also asking for the election of an assembly to write a new constitution and organize a transition to democracy.
The last known American veteran of World War I has died. Frank Woodruff Buckles died on Sunday at the age of 110. Buckles drove ambulances in France during his time in World War I. Buckles was also a civilian prisoner during World War II after the Japanese invaded the Philippines. Buckles was only 16 when he was enlisted into the U.S. Army, but he lied about his age. He told recruiters the state of Missouri did not keep a record of his birth certificate.
Former Bell City Administrator Robert Rizzo is expected to return to court after a brief stay in the hospital for chest pains. The preliminary hearing for Rizzo and other Bell officials was temporarily suspended when Rizzo began experiencing pain. He also complained of shortness of breath and was rushed to the hospital. His attorney says Rizzo is eager to return to court. Rizzo is accused of being the mastermind behind the mishandling of public funds. He is currently facing 54 felony corruption charges.
Mexican food is known for having a lot of meat, but there is one Mexican restaurant in Highland Park that serves absolutely no meat. These dishes are deceiving. All the food you're about to see does not contain any meat. Julissa Reyes has the story.
If you're ever passing through Highland Park in Northeast Los Angeles and you're in the mood for Mexican food, you will have a big selection of places to eat at. But if you're vegan or vegetarian, you probably already know your options are limited when it comes to eating out in Mexican restaurants or food trucks. That's exactly why the Cano family decided to open up Cinnamon Vegetarian Restaurant 5 years ago. They serve a variety of food, but their specialty is Mexican cuisine. Fajitas, chorizo, carnitas, pozole, tamales, mole, enchiladas. What appears to be meat is actually soy-based. Esperanza Cano, who manages Cinnamon, says those who don't read the vegetarian sign outside are usually in for a surprise.
There are people who mistakenly walk in, they sit down, they look at the menu, and then they run out.
But most of the people who do walk in know exactly what they'll find, like Rosa Garza Maurino, who used to love eating beef but stopped after a battle with breast cancer.
They accomplish giving the food the traditional flavor of what we know it to be. For example, today I came to pick up chorizo with potatoes to take home. I can't eat real chorizo, nor will I be able to eat it ever again because it is too harmful to me.
With the highs and lows of the economy, Cinnamon has been close to shutting down more than once. But health-conscious Angelinos, especially the young adult generation, have helped to keep the restaurant going.
Most of the world isn't going to be vegetarian, you know. But for me, I choose to be vegetarian because it's healthy.
Esperanza says that at Cinnamon, food is treated as something more than just a provider of physical nourishment.
In the philosophy of India, the Ayurveda system, which I apply to my dishes, says the pharmacy is in the kitchen. Food is medicine, and medicine is food. Your health depends on what you eat. So take care of yourself, not only physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well.
Reporting from Highland Park for Valley View News, I'm Julissa Reyes.
Coming up after the break, we'll have sports with a look back on the life of Duke Snider, who passed away last week.
And Valley View News reporter David M. Johnson has a story on a group of volunteers helping the Los Angeles community.